From LEX 18, your official UK sports station for Big Blue Nation, this is BBN Tonight. Presented by Central Bank, the official bank of UK athletics.
Welcome to BBN Tonight. I'm Keith Farmer.
And I'm Eli Gain. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Tonight, we'll recap a busy weekend for UK sports, including basketball games for both the men's and the women's squads.
And later on, we're going to talk with football with Jeff Picoro of the UK Sports Network and basketball with the voice of the Wildcats, Tom Leach. Well, after a promising start to conference play, the Kentucky men have dropped their second SEC game of the season. That is tonight's Big Blue story presented by Baptist Health. The basketball Cats were at Auburn Saturday afternoon. Both teams struggled on the offensive end. Kentucky finally started settling in a little bit about halfway through this one, going on a 9-0 run. Dante Allen, Jacob Toppin, each leading the charge, had 8 points heading into the locker room, but there was some controversy about their roles in the second half. We're going to get back to that in a bit. UK crawled to a 25-21 halftime lead. Auburn would start to kind of pull away late in the second half. Sharif Cooper, struggled shooting, but still found his guys. Cooper was 3 of 13 from the floor, but had 8 assists. Many of them you just left your head scratching because they were phenomenal. Cats fought back after falling behind by 10 points, but couldn't get any closer than a bucket in the closing minutes. The Tigers would take advantage at the charity stripe to close this one out 66-59. As for Allen and Toppin, they didn't even start the second half and didn't check back into the game for several minutes.
And what you're trying to do is, I want to win every game we coach, but the other side of it is I'm not trying to take anybody's heart away. So you can sub them when, 3-4 minutes in and go. We didn't start the half that badly. So that wasn't the case. It isn't like, you're just subbing quarterbacks. He played a bad quarter, so I'm going to play this other quarterback. You don't coach that way.
We have to be more consistent. When we play team basketball, when we play our type of basketball, we win games and we do good. So we just have to become more consistent and we'll start winning.
Eli, I'll agree with Coach Cal on one thing. They still got off to a pretty good start in the second half. Right. It was midway through when they started faltering and Auburn came back and took the lead. But still, those two guys were having phenomenal first halves. I'd like to have seen them start the second half.
And just knowing Cal's philosophy, I think the answer that he gave was what sort of threw everyone off was, you want to win the game, you're coaching to win the game, but you don't want to break hearts along the way. What are you playing favorites now all of a sudden? He's usually not like that. So it was an interesting answer. Maybe we'll get more clarification on what he meant when he talks to us next. All right, well, the UK women also in action over the weekend. A shorthanded squad took on Vanderbilt last night as the Cats were missing junior star Ryan Howard. She had an ankle injury as day-to-day, along with 3 other players who sat out because of COVID-19 protocols. Kentucky only led by 1 at halftime, but they pulled out a 7-point victory in the second half with the help of 5 players who scored in double figures, including a career-high 22 from Blair Green and 11 from freshman Treasure Hunt, who got her first start in Kyra Elsie's rotation.
Blair was huge for us. She made play after play, some big shots, that 3, but credit to Blair. She comes in before practice. She practices extremely hard. She comes in after practice. She watches film. So the shots that you see her hitting, she takes over and over and over. So she's very confident in the shots that she takes. And we're very confident because she works at it every day.
Keith, good breakout game for Blair when they were so shorthanded and just needed someone else to sort of step up. And, of course, you had Dre Edwards and Chastity Patterson step up as well. But it was good to see Kentucky's own Blair Green
Gutsy win. Gutsy win. I don't care if you're playing one of the great teams or if you're playing a team that's winless. When you're down that many players, that's a great win.
For sure.
All right, turning to the NBA. Several ex-Cats made headlines over the weekend. Emmanuel quickly helped the Knicks pull out of a 5-game skid with a 17-point performance against the Celtics. Bam Adebayo had 28 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, and 3 blocks, and a losing effort for Miami. And our thoughts are with Karl Anthony Towns after he tested positive for COVID during an NBA season where more than a dozen games have been postponed by the pandemic, Eli.
Yeah, and it's also, what a year for Cat. Obviously, just got to keep thinking about him and what he's been through over this last year. All right, let's turn to the NFL. Former Kentucky defender Mike Edwards came up huge for Tampa Bay last night. Edwards picked off what was likely the final pass of Drew Brees' career to help the Bucs seal the deal for a trip to the NFC Championship game. Love seeing Mike Edwards. His cleats were awesome as well. They were like Air Jordans pretty much, but awesome for him to get a chance to compete in the NFC Championship, possibly go to the Super Bowl. Going to be taking on the Packers, whereas Zadarius Smith will also have a chance to play for the Super Bowl as well.
Going to be in the Super Bowl, right?
Good stuff.
All right, let's end this segment with Kentucky Gymnastics. Number 8 Cats made their home debut in a triumphant fashion, leading number 9 Auburn from start to finish in a victory on Friday at Memorial Coliseum. UK swept all 5 of the competition into individual events. Coming up next on BBN Tonight, we're going to talk more football.
Jeff Pecoro with the UK Sports Network will join us to talk about the homecoming for receiver Wandale Robinson when we return.